Am I the asshole? My sister-in-law told me that my mother had died when she hadn't, and I refused to forgive her. I work on a site which requires no chance of sparks due to the nature of the business, so all phones are locked away. About 8 weeks ago, I got to my phone while preparing to go home and saw that, in the time since dinner, I had received 13 calls and voicemails and a lot of WhatsApp messages asking me to contact my brothers. After ringing the missed calls and trying to get an idea of what was wrong, I got hold of my sister-in-law, who told me that my mother had a routine operation and was dead. I was totally in shock. I tried contacting my brothers who were at the hospital, but reception there was very poor. When I finally got to the hospital almost 2 hours later due to distance and traffic, I finally found my mother and brothers in ICU, which I thought was strange. They were behind curtains and I noticed that my mother had oxygen being pumped into her and asked my brother about it and was told it was a comfort thing. Next thing that happened was my mother slowly moving her hands. I nearly jumped out of my skin thinking that my mother was a zombie coming back to life. After being calmed, I was told that her vital signs began dropping at the end of the operation and the decision was made to withdraw life support because my brothers did not want her to suffer any more pain. I spent the next day in the hospital watching her slowly die while seething about being told a massive lie. At the funeral, my sister-in-law walked up and said she wanted a hug because I was sad. I politely told her that I wasn't in the mood. On my way out of the wake, I shook everyone's hand except hers and it upset her. So am I the asshole? Not the asshole. This was not your Sil's news to share, and she didn't even relay it properly. She should have simply said your mum is in the hospital, and in ICU, please come if your brother didn't want to talk to you to explain more. I'm sorry, I don't know much more, please come is the line for her part in the play. Now she thinks she can hug you and everything will be better. Multi-generational family feuds have been started for less. She should apologize. I'm sorry, I screwed up. I wasn't thinking straight. Please forgive me when you are able is what you deserve to hear. Info. Is it possible your SIL misunderstood the situation? I understand that this would have been a traumatic experience, but I think she thought your mom was going to die right away when the life support was withdrawn. I don't think she was being purposely malicious. Info. Was she passing on info from your brother? If brother said, they just took her off life support, that could mean different things to different people. It is difficult to make a judgment when we don't know exactly who said what, family dynamics, intent etc. Info. Did she intentionally lie or did she just misunderstand what had happened? Maybe I am ignorant, but that doesn't seem to me like your SIL lied. Maybe she meant it differently to how you took it. I'm going with SIL sounds like she genuinely cares about you and didn't think she was misinforming you. You also went through a lot yourself. Maybe she was told that they were taking her off life support and she had assumed she had passed away by the time you spoke with her. It would be best having a conversation with her to find out the reason she said that your mother had died before you jump to conclusions. Sounds like your SIL made a miscommunication error. You should tell her why you're angry. Sorry for your loss. Hand on though. What if the info she had was taking your mum off life machine? Due to sketchy reception, what if she gave you info in good faith? You need to find out her reasoning. Definitely done that, thanks thumbs up sign. Info. Do you even know what information she had when she made the calls? If she was told your mother was dying, then her text was basically accurate. You got there in time to be there for your mother's final moments, which is more than you would have expected based on the text. I'm not sure exactly what you're so angry about. She told you that your mother was dead, and your mother was instead merely dying. Is that the problem? You're the asshole. She was the one to break the news because she was the one you could get a hold of. She told you your mother died because that is what she believed and she was not far off. With the emotions and panic going on, she may have understood it to mean that in the time she was told that they were removing your mother from life support to when she called you that your mother would have died. But misplace your anger all you want. Nah. You're all grieving, give each other a break. Your SIL got the message wrong, which is unfortunate, but she obviously didn't do it on purpose. Not the asshole. But is it possible your sister didn't lie but just got information mixed up? It seems like a stressful situation with not a lot of communication. Perhaps she thought your mom had passed but wasn't yet. Or do you know for sure it was on purpose? Info. Did SIL think she was dead? Nah. She was technically maybe not even wrong. Your mother was in the process of dying. Moving limbs don't indicate brain activity, and I wonder if at that point she wasn't already brain dead. They kept my father-in-law on life support for a full day so everyone could say their goodbyes, but technically he was already dead. This is not about lying, it's about where someone draws the line between life and dead. I'm sure she meant nothing with her comment than to convey the truth as she understood it. You have a different perception and you draw the line differently. That's fine. I'm going with NaH in the absence of more information about your SIL, although I see from comments she's a bit unhinged. It's just that I wonder if she's fully conscious of it. It's absolutely reasonable to be angry though, and she should definitely apologize, but she probably wasn't being malicious. I don't know if that helps. Maybe not. I'm sorry anyway, terrible scenario. It would take me a while to get past being angry. Not the asshole. I'm leaning towards NaH depending on the SIL's history, but her wording of this situation was abhorrent to say the least when dealing with a medical condition. All she had to say was they've taken her off life support, or I'm not sure if she's still alive, and it would be better than expressing her certainty that she had died. I think NaH, really. Your SIL was told your mother was taken off of life support. She translated that to she is dead. That just isn't a crazy leap, especially since it took you a good amount of time to arrive at the hospital. I would also assume no life support dead. You seem to believe she made a malicious error. You know best whether she would target you like that, I guess. Are you furious with your brothers for taking her off of life support without letting you say goodbye first? Because I would be. You're the asshole. Give her the benefit of the doubt that she got the message wrong. It happens. Need more information. It is unclear whether or not she knew your mom was dead. Was she just mistaken? It doesn't seem like she was intentionally pranking you. AITA sorry your sister-in-law cost you a day of watching your mother die. What a terrible way to spend a day. Perhaps if she had told you she was only dying, she would have saved you the indignity of dying while your child is more concerned about a grievance than your dead. Oh wait, that's your mother. Grow up. The world does not revolve around you. You are unimportant. Stop making this about you and forgive and move on, you insignificant speck. Nah. What she said is a common assumption, and considering your comments, exactly how she would understand the situation. You're grieving and understandably upset. There does, however, seem to be an undercurrent of dislike fueling this that has nothing to do with your mother's death. That you can now express your dislike for her and use the drama as a shield to deflect criticism about it. I'm so sorry for your loss. Take care of yourself and surround yourself right now with people you trust and don't have to second guess. You're the asshole. She didn't really lie. Your mother did have an operation, it did go wrong, she lost her life because of it. It was a very stressful emergency situation where you can be understanding she didn't relay the message as well as she should have. Put your anger elsewhere and not on your SIL. Seek grief counseling. Not the asshole and screw your SIL. Info is her first language English. Is there any chance she meant dying rather than dead? This sounds like a miscommunication. Normally removing life support happens because someone is brain dead, which technically is death. I think you two should try and talk